Welcome students, friends, families, and community members. Would everyone please stand, if you are able, as the senior members of the chorus lead us in a salute to our nation with their rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'm going to ask the graduates to remain standing. Everyone else, if you could please take your seats. And our wonderful singers, if you would like to return to your classmates, and I will pause and give you plenty of time to walk back. No worries. This is where I always say I don't mind staring down an entire crowd to give the graduates enough time to join their classmates. So just bear with us for one more minute. Graduates and marshals, will you please take your seats? Good morning and welcome to the graduation ceremony for Holliston High School's class of 2022. My name is Nicole Bottomley, and I have the distinct honor of being the principal of Holliston High School. For the last 2 years, I've been up at this podium discussing the unique senior year that has occurred, and this year makes the third. This graduating class is the only class currently at Holliston High School who had a full COVID-free year, and that year was in 9th grade. It has certainly been a wild ride ever since. And yet, this class has so much to celebrate. They've successfully navigated remote and hybrid learning, 4 seasons of athletics instead of the typical 3, reimagined events held outdoors, and even an impromptu field day at Gillette Stadium. Each year, I reach out to the senior class advisors to hear their thoughts on the graduating class. Mr. Strum and Ms. Collins, your class advisors, shared the following with me. This class is prepared for the future in terms of being able to adapt when needed, overcome setbacks, and change course within the blink of an eye when necessary. They can recognize that things won't always go as planned, and this is something they will see more and more of as they continue their journey. When I reflected on these words from the class advisors, I realized how lucky these seniors are to have gained so much resilience in such an authentic way. These graduating students are better prepared for future obstacles because of what they have encountered and overcome during the last 4 years of high school, some of which was traditional and some of which could never have been imagined. I was scrolling through Facebook last night to see my friends' and colleagues' graduation celebrations, and I came across the following post. My entire life can be described in one sentence. It didn't go as planned, and that's okay. Please let those words sink in and know that sometimes the best adventures did not start out as the plan, but ended up better than you could have designed them. As you make your way out into the world, I wish you the best of luck in the future, and I know our world will be more creative, empathetic, and bright because of all of you. Congratulations. It gives me distinct pleasure to invite our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Susan Kuska, to address the class of 2022.
Welcome, 2022 Holliston High School grads, family members, staff members, and friends. In thinking about what words of wisdom I might impart today, I tried to picture what I might have said to my 18-year-old self at graduation, had I known what I know today, decades later, as your superintendent of Holliston Public Schools. First, I might have said, hold on tight, because your life's journey is going to be a roller coaster ride. And, by the way, you are never going to believe the twists and turns it is going to take come 2020. Be prepared. But, more importantly, I would tell myself that while the journey will not be easy and will be wrought with adversity and obstacles along the way, the entire journey will be well worth it. It is through overcoming adversity that we learn wisdom and gain resilience to continue on the journey, even when the road is rocky. If each and every one of you could look back on these last 2+ years and reflect on your most recent journey at Holliston High School, you should realize that you have exhibited incredible perseverance and have developed the resilience that has prepared you well for your unknown future journey. Not only were you faced with a global pandemic in much of your high school career, but concurrently, you also witnessed multiple examples of social injustice and months of protests that initially were sparked by the death of George Floyd and many others that were to follow. Couple this with the political unrest the nation continues to undergo, and with another more recent example of the mass murders of 19 children and 2 adults in Uvalde, Texas. You have all continued to be plagued by events that young people should never have to worry about as they graduate from high school. I am not entirely sure exactly what I would have said to my 18-year-old self that would have comforted me and truly prepared me for the difficult journey that lay ahead. But what I would tell that young person in cap and gown is that I know you are ready to jump on the roller coaster ride and see where your journey will take you. The journey may be scary, but it will be exciting and rewarding. Do not be afraid. After all that you've been through recently, you've got this. Maybe I would read the lyrics in Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield that say, "Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. You and only you can determine how you want to write the next chapters of your book. I personally want each and every one of you to go off into the world to write your best book. As the Holliston Public Schools' new vision states, embark on your journey, personal, local, global. My generation and those that have come before me have not done a very good job making this world a better place for you to grow up in. Take this opportunity to learn from recent events and think where your passion might lead you, that will help you lead by example and shape a better future world. We are counting on you to do better than generations before you have been able to do. As you make your mark on the world, be a force to be reckoned with. Congratulations, 2022 graduates.
We have included 3 musical performances in our program this morning, highlighting some of the musical talent in this year's graduating class. The first performance features Kylie McLeod and Maeve Valentini singing "Slipping Through My Fingers" by ABBA.
Slipping through my fingers all the time. Sleep in our eyes, her and me at the breakfast table. Barely awake, I let precious time go by. Then when she's gone, there's that odd melancholy feeling and a sense of guilt I can't deny. What happened to those wonderful adventures? The places I had planned for us to go. Well, some of which we did, but most we didn't. And why, I just don't know. Slipping through my fingers all the time, I try to capture keeps on growing, slipping through my fingers all the time. Sometimes I wish that I could freeze the picture and save it from the funny tricks of time slipping through my fingers. School bag in hand, she leaves home in the early morning, waving goodbye with an absent-minded smile.
Our first speaker is our salutatorian. The following words were written by her school counselor, Ms. Harwich. I have encountered a handful of high school students who have the intellect, vision, energy, and desire to make a significant difference in the world. Summer is one of these students. She values effort, collaboration, and sacrifice. She has a gifted mind and is a creative problem solver. Summer is not about perfection. She is about improvement and meaningful change. She doesn't want smooth sailing, but rather wrinkles that tell a story, that demonstrate growth and illustrate that she is not afraid to fail and then innovate and improve. Summer believes in the creativity of the human mind and that all people add depth and value to an experience. She is a wonderful human being who is motivated to be her best each and every day and engage in one of the greatest human experiences, discourse. Because this is how we become a better society. Our world is a better place with Summer in it. It is my pleasure to introduce Summer O'Neill, salutatorian, class of 2022.
Thank you, Mrs. Harwich, and thank you, Mrs. Bottomley. Good morning. It is with great honor that I stand before you as your salutatorian. It is my pleasure to welcome students, faculty and staff, friends, family, parents, and guardians to the graduation ceremony for Holliston High School's class of 2022. I would like to thank one and all for joining us in this monumental and celebratory occasion. Although we have spent the majority of our lives in school, our education didn't begin in a building with lockers, desks, and classrooms. Given that I'm the daughter, the granddaughter, and the great-granddaughter of teachers, I grew up in a household where we were always unknowingly playing school. With my twin brother Sean, our home became our preschool, teaching each other since day one. In matching pink and blue chairs and coordinating outfits, of course, we played games and we read books. For as long as I can remember, he has been a built-in friend and a built-in classmate. Sean has, without a doubt, taught me the importance of positive competition, both inside and outside of academics. He never lets me forget that he is 1 minute older than me, and our 1v1 basketball games have always included a lot of serious smack talk. And now, he will never let me forget that he is ranked one spot above me in our graduating class. After years of parental instruction, I grew tired of our own preschool, and by 5th grade, I craved the influence of another teacher beyond the walls of our house. And I was lucky enough to find her. Mrs. Perpall may have been an elementary school teacher, but she offered far more wisdom beyond multiplication tables, the phases of the moon, and the water cycle. After spending half a day in her class, I took the bus home, prepared myself with a quick snack, and assumed the role of a teacher in front of my dad's whiteboard. I taught my invisible class whatever we had been learning with Mrs. Perpall, and I would sometimes call over my neighborhood friend to help me keep an extra eye over the rowdiness of our imaginary students. At the time, I didn't realize that I was simply imitating a role model, the first person who conveyed the value of engagement, active participation, and motivated efforts in a classroom culture. She had allowed me to see the fun in rising to occasions and meeting challenges. Thank you to Mrs. Perpall, who made me appreciate and love school, and I'm so grateful that she can be here today to hand me my diploma. Sorry, Mom. In truth, it has been a community effort to arrive at this moment. It may have started in a home or in a preschool, and it may have ended with the school secretary, the calculus teacher, or your coach. But as we venture forward, we must not forget the role of teachers in every graduate's development, and not just the educators in your final hours of high school. We must recognize and show gratitude towards those who have gone above and beyond to connect with us, encourage us, listen to us, nurture us, and help us persevere. I hope I can speak for everyone here when I say that there will always be a favorite teacher who has made a difference in your life, who has been a cheerleader for you, who made you feel successful, heard, and understood. Someone you will never forget. Thank you to all of these memorable people in our lives, whether they have educated our minds and our hearts in a classroom environment or beyond school walls. Thank you, Mom, for letting me play pretend school in your actual classroom back then. You were the first person to walk me around HHS halls, and I will never forget you walking me back to my class on my last day of high school. Thank you to parents, grandparents, family members, teachers, coaches, and yes, siblings too, I guess. Class of 2022, here's to a future full of gratitude, accomplishment, peer education, and connection with other human beings. Congratulations and thank you.
Our next musical performance is by Chloe Drohan. Chloe will be performing Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
I took my love, I took it down. I climbed the mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Oh, Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I build my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Oh, and I'm getting older too. So take this love, take it down. Oh, climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, maybe the landslide will bring it down. No, the landslide will bring it down.
Next to address us will be our valedictorian. And similar to our salutatorian, these words were written by Sean's counselor, Miss Harwich. Sean is brilliant and kind, and he leads with his heart. He has impressed his teachers with his academic excellence and thoughtful approach to learning. Over the last few years, we've been talking a lot about the vision of a graduate, and Sean personifies these qualities. He is resourceful, cares about the greater good, and is passionate about sustainability and the environment. If you don't know, Sean loves to fish. He barely hit double digits when he caught his first striper and has been hooked ever since, pun intended. His time in the water has taught him a great deal about himself and also allowed him time to contemplate life. Not only has he asked himself some basic questions, what do fish really want to eat, what time of the day is best to fish, he has also considered some bigger questions. How can we have a positive impact on the declining state of our environment? And what habits can we adjust to help? Time on the water has given Sean the opportunity to think about what matters most in life. I have no doubt Sean will continue to challenge himself to find solutions to difficult problems. I am thrilled to introduce Sean O'Neill, valedictorian, class of 2022.
Thank you, Mrs. Bottomley. It is my honor today to speak in front of this incredible student body, their supporting families, guardians, friends, faculty, and administration, as I honor the graduating class of 2022. I would especially like to recognize our teachers and administrators for their relentless dedication and passion that has made everything we've accomplished at Holliston High possible. I am truly excited to be speaking today, but also quite surprised. I think all of my friends can also attest that they would have never guessed I would be valedictorian, based on the fact that I sometimes lack common sense, and I probably spend an equal amount of time fishing as I do actually doing schoolwork. Nevertheless, I am elated to share my thoughts regarding the class of 2022's past, present, and future with you all this morning. Looking back since our first day of high school some 1,300 days ago, I realize that our class has shared some experiences that very few generations will ever understand. The reality as it appears now is that we have endured immeasurable challenges in which each of us had to alter our lives and sacrifice doing the things we love for the common good. The choices we have collectively made to ensure a safer community demonstrates that we all truly have the capacity to care for one another. With patience and resolution, we rose up to help solve a global crisis. For this reason, I am beyond proud and humbled to address you on our final day together, a culmination of all the effort that each of us has given over the past 12 years. The majority of our time at HHS was a little unusual, to put it lightly. I would say that freshman year was pretty typical, being anxious about finding classes and learning our place within the school hierarchy. Yet as we journeyed through this new environment, we remained optimistic about the future, and by the end of freshman year, we began to fit in and feel more comfortable around the school. However, when EEE postponed Friday Night Lights the next fall, the natural order of things was put on hold, and this was just a precursor as to what would happen next. When COVID forced schools to shut down in the spring of our sophomore year, our lives were basically turned upside down. We switched to remote learning, clubs and sports were ceased, and we were all put on lockdown inside our homes. Needless to say, this took some getting used to, assuming, of course, that we ever got used to it. And for those of you who know my mom and sister, you can only imagine how difficult that might have been. I'm sure you all had your own unique experiences in this regard. As everyone attempted to live their normal lives during these unprecedented times, no one would have guessed that we would still be experiencing the effects of COVID approaching graduation 2 years later. However, this determination to cope with the pandemic and our ability to bounce back from its effects is what makes our class so special. We have learned how to adapt and make the best of situations no matter the circumstances. I believe that the best word to describe this idea is resilience. Despite these unfortunate events, we have made memories at HHS that we will never forget. The DSB shenanigans, the Red Sea, and the extended bathroom breaks in the MBR are examples of how we have made our time in high school memorable. As we weaved our way through four corners, or out of the chaotic parking lot at 243, we made Holliston High our home. We learned a lot over the past 4 years. High school is where we begin to discover who we are, and through shared experiences, we've started out on the road to become the people we were meant to be. Through the friendships we've built or lost, the tests we've failed, and the mistakes we've all made, we bounced back like champions. We were able to persevere through a pandemic, rolling out of bed in our pajamas for online classes, and sitting through Zoom meetings with Wi-Fi problems. All of what we went through makes us incredible, resilient, and determined individuals. If we were able to get through the past 2 years, then nothing can stop us. We just saw how difficult life can be and the many challenges that it can throw our way. There will be days that make it hard to get up when life knocks us down, but if COVID has taught us anything, it's how to persevere through life's hardships. So, as we all embark on new chapters in our lives, I encourage each individual to utilize resilience as a part of their daily activities. In doing so, we will be able to overcome great challenges and roadblocks during our strive for success. There will inevitably be future hardships that we will face together or individually, but we must be confident and resilient as we fight them. I have no doubt that each and every one of us has a bright future ahead as a result of how we have dealt with adversity throughout these past 4 years. There isn't a much more difficult time to have made it through high school, and I would like to personally congratulate our entire class of 2022 for their hard work and dedication. You should all be very proud of yourselves and your fellow classmates. As we say our goodbyes today, and I hope they are not the last, I implore each and every one of you to focus on that ability and use it to help others. Find a way to give back to your community and serve the greater good. Continue to be mindful and caring of others, just as we have done throughout the pandemic. Seek mentors for the things important to you, to perhaps someday mentor others. Use all of your skills, resources, and opportunities with purpose and the intent of being impactful on the world around you. Chase your passions, learn from your mistakes, And most importantly, don't take yourself too seriously. In closing, and although it is bittersweet to say this, I bid you farewell and wish each of you the very best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you and congratulations once again to Holliston High School's class of 2022. Celtics in 4.
Our final musical performance this morning will be performed by Sophia Cocciarella and Jocelyn Quinnen. They'll be performing Home by Philip Phillips.
As we roll down
Next to address us will be our class president, Maxwell Payne. These words were also written by Ms. Harwich, who has the honor of having all 3 students giving speeches today. She is a school counselor for our school. The first opportunity I had to really see Max in action was during a Zoom meeting last spring when he presented a project from his AP English Language and Composition class to our faculty. A force to be reckoned with, Max shared a letter he had written to an author and the response he received. The details have become fuzzy. I don't remember the author or the title of the book, nor do I remember his exact words. What I do remember is the emotion I felt and the impact of his words. I remember I was moved to tears. I remember Max talking about the desire to lead a life as consequential and transformative as the author. I remember wanting to acknowledge the power of his message and recognize the positive impact he had on me and our group as a whole. He left 85 educators in awe. It is rare to encounter a student so aware of who he is and his purpose in life. I have incredible hope for future generations because Max will be at the helm. It is an honor to introduce Max Payne, president of the class of 2022.
Thank you, Mrs. Bottomley and Mrs. Harwich. Friends, family, faculty, students, I would like to thank all of you for being here today. I'd also like to specifically thank Mr. Cannell for all he's done to help our class. I've been asked a lot in the past couple months how I feel about graduating, and I honestly don't know how to feel. Some of my classmates are ecstatic to get out of here and move on and never look back, and I definitely understand that feeling. I'm excited about my future and all of the new opportunities and experiences I'm going to have with new people and new places. But there's something about Holliston High I just can't get over. I have too many memories to count in the classes, halls, and bathrooms of this old, flawed, beautiful building. I've been with most of this graduating class for all of my schooling, and the idea of moving on is scary. I still feel like I've just become friends with people in the past couple of weeks who I've known for 12 years. Throughout this year, I've been told to enjoy it. Enjoy the end of high school. Cherish every moment. All of the same sentimental expressions everyone's heard at one time or another in their life. I decided to listen to all those cliches and make an effort to cherish this year. Every couple of days, I sat and thought about what I was thankful for, what I was going to miss, and what moments I was only going to get once, and how to make sure I made the most of them. Here are some of the things I thought about. First, I'm going to say a controversial one. I'm thankful for the underclassmen. Although their antics this year have been widely documented and criticized, the genius and thoughtfulness they bring to school has been one of my favorite parts about this year. After one of my final classes last week, I mentioned to Mr. Cozet that my favorite part of the conversations we had in that class, even though I probably talked more than I should have, was hearing what the sophomores and juniors had to say, how they approached the same topics I did, and the ideas they had that challenged my opinions and deepened everyone's understanding. I'm also thankful for our teachers. As much as they're thanked, it'll never be enough. Because when we start to complain about how hard COVID-19 has been for students, it has been just as bad for the teachers. Over the course of the pandemic, so many more kids would have fallen through the cracks if we didn't have some of the most incredible teachers in the world. The end of our sophomore year, when the pandemic first started and we moved to a pass-fail grading system, it was very tempting to do just enough work to pass, and I almost did. But then my chemistry teacher, Mrs. Rivera, had the audacity to create virtual lesson plans, experiments in a bag, and let us do tie-dye in our driveway, masked and distanced. Mrs. Rivera's dedication to her students is unwavering and immense, yet only gives a small glimpse to the dedication of the teaching staff as a whole at Holliston High School. What am I going to miss? I'm going to miss the cross-country Saturday morning long runs on the rail trail. I'm going to miss rushing back to the school at the end of my lunch, hoping to not be late, even though I usually was. I'm going to miss the desperate bargaining between last block teachers and their students for permission to leave as early as possible to beat the parking lot traffic. I'm going to miss staying at school for theater until 10 p.m. 3 weeks in a row for Tech Week after Tech Week after Tech Week. I'm going to miss recognizing everyone I walk by in the hallways. I'm going to miss being with all of my fellow seniors every day from 8:10 to 2:43, even though most of our days usually started a little later. Now, what moments did I only get one of? Our only prom, where we all dressed up to the nines, listened to some subpar DJing, ate some interesting food, and most importantly, spent all night with each other as a grade, trying to never let the fun end, because symbolically, subconsciously, it felt like more than just the end of a night, but the end of our time together. Today is probably the last day. All of us will be in the same place with each other, united as a class, coming together as a group of kids who've known each other for as long as we can remember. There's a billion different tiny moments that have molded each one of us into the people we are today. Good and bad, hilarious and dreadful, beautiful and boring. There's two things I can say today for certain. I'm thankful I got to spend the last 4 years with all of you. And that despite all of the things I just talked about, the best moments and the greatest accomplishments of all of our lives are in the future. So, as we all move on, I urge you to take the time to look around and savor every small moment, because they will be the ones you're thankful for, the ones you'll miss and remember the most. I can't wait to see what we all do. Thank you for letting me be your president.
Before the presentation of diplomas, I would like to thank our musical performers and invite them to join their classmates back at their seats. We will now commence with the presentation of diplomas. The names of the graduates will be read by their class officers, Max Payne, Brian Sahajian, Jack Littlejohn, and Jenna Canal. We ask that all the graduates remain in their seats until the marshals ask the row to stand, walk to the ramp, and receive their diplomas. Madam School Committee Chairperson, I present to you the Holliston High School class of 2022 for the presentation of their diplomas. Each member of this class has fulfilled all obligations and earned all credits under the regulations of the state of Massachusetts and has fulfilled all requirements as set forth by the Holliston School Committee and Holliston High School. And now for the presentation of diplomas. I'll ask Max Payne to come to the podium and marshals to assist with the first row of graduates.
Saketh Achala, presented by Miss Courtney Bowker. India Grace Adams, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Carrie Lee Aronian, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Matthew Jerome Amante, presented by Miss Casey Conahan. Grace Samantha Amlick, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith. Kevin Thomas Anise, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Annabelle Lynn Arnold, presented by Miss Elisa Taylor. Marissa Aileen Arnold, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Arush Arun, presented by Mr. Robert Tivnan. Riley Elizabeth Ashworth, presented by Mr. Joseph Cozet. Tejas Balcha, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith. Tyler Douglas Barons, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque.
What up, people?
Nandini Siddhappa Basavaraj, presented by Mr. Robert Tivnan. Gavin Charles Belforti, presented by Miss Susan Nolan. Camden Grace Benedon, presented by Miss Jennifer Bethany. Ava Alexandra Bergloff, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Ty David Bergstrom, presented by Mr. Douglas Calais. Madeline Grace Blocker, presented by Miss Brittany Tufts. Adriana Elizabeth Bureau, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Owen Christopher Burke, presented by Mr. Scott O'Connor. Zachary Glenn Burrow, presented by Miss Heidi Finnegan. Ethan Kyle Berwick, presented by Miss Courtney Bowker. Caroline Grace Campbell, presented by Miss Elizabeth Trainer. Axolotl Suyai Cardenas Lopez, presented by Miss Kate Mayo. Sean Michael Carey, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Nancy Pay Chabot, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Kara Ann Chipman, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Samantha Marie Cheslow, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Sarah Jean Chislow, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Sophia Marie Cocciarella, presented by Mr. Joseph Cozet. Alex Benjamin Cohen, presented by Miss Taryn Lang. Eric Harrison Coleman, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Ethan Michael Como, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Kate Ann Canoni, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Chris William Cordani, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Kyle Andrew Corden, presented by Miss Courtney Bowker. Nicholas Robert Cotting, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Katie Montgomery Cruz, presented by Mr. Douglas Lack. Avery Lee Culver, presented by Miss Jennifer Culver. Patrick John Cumming, presented by Miss Kristen O'Neill. Danielle Francis Cummings, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Elizabeth Barrett Curry, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Catherine Amelia Curry, presented by Miss Carrie Perpall. Emmanuel Robert Da Silva, presented by Mr. Peter Vautier. Bridget Shui-Shi Daniel, presented by Miss Sarah Kuhn. Lara Catherine Daniels, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Derek Whittier D'Angelo, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Christopher John Del Ponte, presented by Mr. David Zakchevsky. Carissa Bella Dennehy, presented by Miss Linda Canal. Ashley Lynn Durnanian, presented by Miss Jennifer Bethany. Ella Rose Knight Dietering, presented by Miss Ashley Lagas. Abigail Summer Devine, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Giovanna Carvalho de Carmo, presented by Miss Elisa Taylor. Chloe Rose Drohan, presented by Miss Courtney Bottomley. Phoebe May Drohan, presented by Miss Edith Nelson.
Kayla Amalia Decrepin, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy. Ryan Michael Dutcher, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Leah Isabel Ellis, presented by Mr. Alexander Strum. Sophia Mariella Engel, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Sanjna Njiti, presented by Mr. Robert Tivnan. Kyrese Ricardo Evans, presented by Miss Finch Bowen. Margot Penelope Evans, presented by Mr. Douglas Lack. Trevor William Fanara, presented by Mr. Christian Rankowitz. Stephanie Grace Farrell, presented by Miss Susan Stone. Catherine May Fitzgerald, presented by Miss Shauna Frost. Kathleen Mary Fitzgerald, presented by Miss Sarah Kuhn. Madeline Elizabeth Fitzpatrick, presented by Miss Heidi Finnegan. Fiona Irene Foley, presented by Miss Stephanie Foley. Connor William Foreman, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Jared Hayden Friedman, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Audrey Elizabeth Gabriel, presented by Miss Mary Beth Mont. Caden Shea Gallagher, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Lauren Eileen Geary, presented by Mr. Daniel Geary. Gabby Ahmad Gurgis, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Abigail Helen Glynn, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Bridget Diane Glynn, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Zoe Marie Gahn, presented by Mr. Christopher Venetian. Emma Rose Grace, presented by Mr. Christopher Venetian. Madison Bell Grace, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith. Sophia Rose Grappo, presented by Miss Catherine Buckley. Riley Victoria Green, presented by Miss Kristen O'Neill. Patrick Burgess Griffin, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Alisa Sergeevna Grisheshkina, presented by Miss Mary Beth Mont. Anish Gugulam, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Jason William Haddad, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Julia Ann Harrington, presented by Miss Ashley Logis. Peyton Elizabeth Hastings, presented by Miss Michelle Hastings. Adam Gregory Hecker, presented by Miss Shauna Frost. Brady Patrick Heffernan, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Amber Lee Nicola Holden, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Sean Joseph Hunt, presented by Miss Sarah Kuhn. Brennan Stephen Ibbotson, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Harris Denzel Joseph, presented by Miss Courtney Bowker. Madeline Simone Kalani, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy. Lauren Elizabeth Campersall, presented by Miss Hallie Arnold. Hamsini Satya Kanakagiri, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy.
Jason Graham Keene, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Raj Khetri, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Ariel Caitlin Kilgore, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy. Madeline Chadsey Kinder, presented by Miss Linda Canal. Jordan Leanne Kuharich, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Chris Samuel Labossiere, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Devin Nicole Lally, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith. Elias Desmond Lammy, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Juliana Juling Lee, presented by Miss Jamie Murphy. Peyton Frederick Leone, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Daniel Cornelius Liberty, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Eric Maximilian Libman, presented by Mr. Douglas Calais. Sophia Elizabeth Lindsay, presented by Mr. Alexander Strum. Thomas Avery Lero, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Julia Catherine Longy, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Mia Christine Luisi, presented by Miss Jamie Murphy. Benjamin Davis McLeod, presented by Mr. Daniel McLeod. Brendan Richard McLeod, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Kylie Grace McLeod, presented by Miss Sarah Collins. Nicholas Andres McCrae, presented by Miss Carla Brady. Brenton William Magoon, presented by Mr. Kevin Zahner. Patrick Edward Mahoney, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Akriti Malorta, presented by Miss Cassandra Kogut Taylor. Aiden Patrick Malvey, presented by Miss Mary Gowan. Alyssa Nicole Mankus, presented by Mr. Sean Bilodeau. Dominic Giovanni Marino, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Oh. Kendall Jeanette Marsden, presented by Miss Holly Arnold. Rocco Vino Mastrangelo, presented by Miss Shauna Frost. Joshua Joseph Maxwell, presented by Mr. Joseph Koze. Aiden Christopher McEachern, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Haley Catherine McGettigan, presented by Miss Finch Bowen. Isabella Christina Medeiros, presented by Miss Lisa Mazzola. Marie Christine Meisner, presented by Miss Claire Picard. Marcos Vinicius Menendez de Silva, presented by Miss Andrea Weingarter. Mackenzie Elizabeth Mercier, presented by Mr. Sean Bilodeau. Sydney Elizabeth Michelli, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith. Maura Kelly Monahan, presented by Miss Shauna Frost. Abigail Shea Moran, presented by Mr. Douglas Lack. Avra Catherine Moran, presented by Mr. Alexander Strum. Leah Elizabeth Moran, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Brian Morera, presented by Mr. Christian Rankowitz. Lauren Michelle Murphy, presented by Miss Jennifer Lasher. Daniel Joseph Nash, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Avisha Neela Maraju, presented by Miss Caitlin Mills. Zachary David Newkirk, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Emmett Hutchison O'Leary, presented by Miss Courtney Bottomley. Matthew Henry O'Leary, presented by Mr. Douglas Calais. Jillian Michelle Pacheco, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith.
Nora Ann Parmisi, presented by Mr. James Lavasser. Roma Gautam Patel, presented by Miss Sylvia Bodmer. Ryan Chet Patel, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy. Julian Edward Payne, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Robert Burton Payne, presented by Mr. Kevin Zahner. Alexandra Grace Pearl, presented by Miss Kristen O'Neill. Aiden Matthew Pessin, presented by Miss Sarah Collins. Ryan James Pacelli, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Rupesh Prasanna Kumar, presented by Mr. Joseph Kozay. Jocelyn Thorne Quinnen, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Maeve Elizabeth Radcliffe, presented by Miss Erica Calais. Isabella Stephanie Rahim, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Rohit Subramanian Ramanathan, presented by Mr. David Zakchevsky. Rose Clinton Randall, presented by Miss Alicia Moulter. Charles David Raymer, presented by Miss Sarah Collins. Nicholas Parsons Rafael, presented by Mr. James Lavasser. Johanna Cullen Rennert, presented by Miss Jennifer Bethany. Ziane Apracida Rocha Alves, presented by Miss Andrea Wayne Garter. Annika Sophie Schnabel Rose, presented by Miss Lauren Berman. Laura Abigail Roth, presented by Mr. David Zakchevsky. Emily Brooke Ryan, presented by Miss Patricia McLeod. Grace Elizabeth Ryan, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy. Colette Barbara Salem, presented by Miss Carrie Salem. Caroline Rose Sally, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Jared Vincent Del Monte Sangle, presented by Mr. Sean Bilodeau. Mitchell Joseph Saponaro, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Jamie Lee Saraglo, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Liam Bartholomew Savage, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Henry Albert Savino, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Lily Shea Sawyers, presented by Miss Linda Canal. Abigail Maria Schellings, presented by Miss Casey Conahan. Mia Amelia Schmidt, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Astrid Lucia Schwartz, presented by Miss Jennifer Lasher. Alex John Sikora, presented by Mr. Thomas Levesque. Neha Shazad, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Benjamin Gregory Siegel, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Jessica Lily Smith, presented by Miss Jennifer Moreau. Robert Aiden Casfern Smith, presented by Miss Elizabeth Smith. Pedro Ricardo Costa Sousa Silva, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. No. Emily Hope St. George, presented by Miss Jamie Murphy. Kate Marie Stanwood, presented by Miss Dominique Ross. Siona Hanesh Zarati, presented by Miss Kristen O'Neill. Cooper Michael Sweet, presented by Mr. Sean Rooney. Alexandra Cherapanova, presented by Miss Alicia Moulter. Liam Thomas Teague, presented by Miss Karen Archambault. Kayla Mary Tomaselli, presented by Mr. Paul Hickey. Sadie McCoy Trainer, presented by Miss Elizabeth Trainer. Joseph Paul Trombley, presented by Mr. Donald Quinley. Maeve Ryan Valatini, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Catherine Elizabeth Abigail Verrill, presented by Miss Sarah Collins. Chip Charles Christopher Verrill, presented by Mr. Chris Murphy. Margaret Jane Vaughn, presented by Mr. Douglas Lack. Karina Volkov, presented by Mr. Robert Tivnan. Claudia Volka, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Emily Elizabeth Waldman, presented by Mr. Jeffrey Waldman. Matthew Caleb Walther, presented by Miss Amanda Rivera. Samuel Flynn Winston, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Mia Grace Wolfgang, presented by Mr. Sean Bilodeau. Connor Edwin Wood, presented by Mr. Gregory White. Aaron Benjamin Zaplin, presented by Mr. David Zakcheski.
Maxwell Mars Payne, presented by Miss Courtney Bottomley. Brian Christopher Sahajian, presented by Miss Dominique Ross. Jenna Marie Canal, presented by Miss Linda Canal. Jack Michael Littlejohn, presented by Mr. Kevin Lamarck. Summer Caitlin O'Neill, presented by Miss Carrie Perpal. Sean Patrick O'Neill, presented by Miss Kristen O'Neill. Class officers, are you staying down there? All right. Before we conclude today's ceremony, I would like to remind everyone to please stay at their seats and wait for the graduates to exit. The graduates will leave through both gates, and once they do, families will be able to exit and meet up with their graduates, but please allow them to leave first as the graduated class of 2022. Graduates, this is the exciting part. At this time, please remain at your seats, but now is the time to move your tassels to the left side of your caps to signify that you are now graduated. Congratulations to the Holliston High School class of 2022. We wish you the best of luck in the future and in finding your hats right now. And we know your resilience will pay off. At this time, would the marshals please assist with the first row of graduates and the fifth row of graduates and lead our graduates out. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful afternoon.